Nance, the CEO and president of Concerned Women for America, joins us. Penny, good to see you. You must have the patience of Job.
Well, Todd, I feel like as conservatives, we get accused of wanting to stay in our bubble, right? And if we want to bring people to our side, if we want to explain how people that perhaps viewers at CNN or MSNBC or any of these other networks um, don't know, then you have to put yourself out there and make an attempt to let them know what we're thinking. But the problem is, you often end up debating the entire table on, some of these more left-leaning um, networks. And I started to say like moderate, but they aren't. They're more left-leaning. And so they want the idea of a conservative. They want a token conservative, but they don't really want you to express yourself, and they really want you to debate. At that particular show, it was, five people on the table and just me, obviously.
And I think at the end of the day, they really don't want to have a legitimate conversation. I know on my Newsmax show, I love inviting Democrats on so that we can
Mhm.
have a debate. I want to hear what the other side says. I think the conservative side's always going to win the day, but I think you've got to open yourself up and at least open the network up to other viewpoints. And the fact that they invite you on and then they treat you like that. What
Mhm.
does that tell you, Penny?
Well, it's difficult, right? Because, that particular show was at 6 in the morning. I'd been up since 1 a.m. to get ready for it and to do the show. And so you go and then, you have to listen to remarks in the green room by so-called journalists, like, saying horrible things about the president, and just the entire experience for conservatives is very difficult. Our friend Scott Jennings does a terrific job, and there are other people that are conservatives that go on to these other networks, but it is trying. And I think it's important for our fellow conservatives to know that we need to support each other and pray for each other and watch when there's a conservative on and be part of the audience. And I think it really is eye-opening to see what it's like. Now, listen, I know people are thinking, well, if you're on Fox News or Newsmax, you're going to be in the minority. And that's true. That's very true. I would suggest that we all need to be more open to have the conversations like you have, Todd, and to really have a give and take at this time. And really, you can't really disagree with someone if you don't even know their opinion, right? You need to hear what they're thinking and then share what you think. This is how we used to do it, and now everyone's in their own little tight bubble, and no one even wants to hear the other side of the argument. And I think that is detrimental to society at large.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. By the way, Penny, two times I've had a liberal on, and they've converted on air. So it's a
Well,
nice
you're
thing when
good.
that happens. But again,
Yeah.
I'm really curious about CNN, and I know at Fox News the liberals were treated so nicely. In the green
Yeah.
rooms, it was a nice, relaxing, cordial atmosphere. And I'm wondering, what is it like for you as a conservative? In the green room, what's that experience of walking into the CNN building?
I will tell you that most people are nice, and they're nice to me, and I'm kind to them. So it kind of people give as good as they get. I don't go in with a chip on my shoulder. I go in with the idea that I need to share my thoughts and share a different perspective. So I think that's well received. I think what they aren't aware of, they don't even know that as they stand there looking at the big screen and saying nasty things about the president, I'm not even in a situation in which I can express myself. I'm just having to overhear the garbage. But Todd, I don't know. Maybe that's how it is for people to a liberal when they go on to Newsmax or go on to Fox. I haven't been in those shoes, but I have met plenty of people that were left leaning on those networks. And I try to go out of my way to make them feel comfortable because I think it takes bravery to go into the other side's home field and to have a tough conversation. And so I support anybody that's willing to do that. Now, it's okay for us to, strongly disagree, but if you, really the issue that I think this teases out and what you're getting to is if there's five people at the table and there's only one conservative, you should probably let them talk.
It's a great point, and again, why would you do and and they do that, and they do that thinking they're gonna be able to gang up on the conservative, when in reality, if they do let you talk, the conservative can normally take on, 5 against 1, again, because our ideas are the right ideas, but that's not what they want, and they wanna try to embarrass and humiliate Republicans and conservatives, and
I
that's
don't
really.
I don't even think in their heart of hearts they think that's how it is.
Oh, you don't?
I think they really think it's fair. I mean, I think, if somebody from CNN sees this interview, they're gonna be like, "How dare she, complain?" Because we had her as a guest, and I am grateful to be invited as a guest, but I just think there's blind spots for all networks because we have a certain demographic that we are tending to speak to, and I know for a fact that from friends of mine who have shows on Fox, that they get notes. They get from the viewers that are upset that they had this person on or that person on and they think they didn't push them hard enough or whatever. So I think we're all guilty of it. I just want to start the conversation about let's have a real discussion in America about these positions, about these important issues of the day in a way that people aren't cringing when they listen because one or the other are treated so badly in the conversation. I just don't think that's helpful anymore.
No, and you do raise a good point because I'll even invite liberals to come on the radio
Mhm.
show, and I will get mail from people saying, "Why?
Mhm.
How dare you?" We hear enough of that on CNN or.
Platformed that person. The
Yeah,
truth is listeners probably aren't listening to CNN and their listeners aren't listening to you. So the only way they're going to hear a counter narrative or a different message is if each network what brings on other people to share a perspective the audience isn't hearing anywhere else.
yeah.
And I don't think any of us should be afraid of that. If you have the confidence of your convictions, then let it play out. Let the conversation be had. You don't need to uber control every little exchange. Just let the conservative talk or just let the liberal talk. It's okay.
Penny Nance joining us from Concerned Women for America, and Penny, especially in the light of where we are in American society right now, where conservative women of all ages are coming under attack, coming under fire for embracing values that are contrary to those in the mainstream culture right now.
Well, that's right, Todd, and of course, we have Young Women for America. So that's our collegiate chapters along with our more mature women, our Women for America, and then Young Women for America. We have about 400 YWA leaders and chapters around the country on their collegiate um, campuses. No one takes it on the chin more than them. And I will tell you that if you spend any time with these women, you would be so encouraged, Todd, because they are so brave. They're so passionate. They feel strongly about things like life, the life issue. They've stood strong for Israel. In at this horrible time of anti-Semitism, they've linked arms with the Jewish fraternities and sororities and said, "No, this we are not going to allow this to happen on our campus," and stood up to the keffiyeh wearing bullies nonstop. And of course, the issue of women's sports, they have been frontline leaders on that. And so, just to encourage your listeners to know, there are plenty of really strong, thoughtful, intelligent, articulate conservative women out there who are doing our best to speak up for our values at this time in our country and to bring other people to our side.
I love that. I love hearing those kinds of stories. And again, folks, concernedwomen.org is the website. That's concernedwomen.org. Penny, I got to know this, just between you and me now. So, at
Okay.
Fox and Newsmax, the snacks in the green room, we're talking about, Snickers, Nutter Butters, Dr. Pepper. What's it like at CNN? They got the kale
Uh,
and
there's
the matcha.
I'm trying to good coffee, I would say, and not as wide a variety of sodas and juices. Um, and I don't remember there being snacks. I have to notice. Of course, I'm there usually early, so I'm not really thinking about that yet. But you're right. Fox does have a great, and I will say the makeup rooms in both of them are great. People don't realize that before you get on TV, you have to really prep hard. You know this, Todd, of course, and you're doing this every day. But you have to, for a short little stint on, God help me, one of these more left-leaning shows, I'm probably doing at least 4 hours prep, and then you've got makeup and hair and all that, which I'm grateful for, by the way. But my most relaxing place when I'm going into the lion's den is sitting in that makeup room, because those women are completely apolitical and they just want to be helpful. So I am a big fans of all the makeup room in all networks.
Yeah, I know when I come in, it's like I can see the look of dread, and it's like I'm going into a Jiffy Lube, and they hose me down and send me on my way. But I got to tell you that
No, no.
no,
You
that
guys have got it made. You're in the now the chair in like 2 minutes. The rest of us have been there for like a half an hour.
well, that bronzer number 9, I tell you what, it does wonders. I'll tell you that much, Penny Nance. All right, Penny, we got to leave it there. I got to cash
Well,
in my
good seeing
manhood
you.
card now. So,
Thanks for having me on, Todd.
all right,
God
good to
bless.
see
Have a
you,
great,
Penny,
happy
Penny
Independence
Nance.
Day.